Hey, my name is Roy Williams Jr. This is my story and how it relates to you. I grew up in the South for most of my life. I lived in Ludwig, Georgia until I was 8, and the Panhandle of Florida until I was roughly about 20 to 21 years old. I experienced a ton of racial microaggressions growing up, anywhere from, being called an Oreo, being called the white black boy, being called nappy, being called a various ton of things that affected me throughout my whole life. I think a lot of those things are overlooked in today's society. Now having two young girls, two beautiful brown young girls, it's important for me to teach them not to do those things and to be aware of people who bring that energy to them as well. My daughter, Evangeline, who will be 6 in a couple of months, actually experienced her first bit of racism at 3 years old. Gosh. 3 years old. I mean, that's really tough for a parent, for a black father to deal with. And usually when I deal with, stuff that makes me upset, it just makes me angry and it just kind of makes me cry. But I didn't want to do that in front of her. And I just remember her coming home saying that she was being picked on by a girl at school because of her brown skin and her curly, beautiful hair. And that affected me a lot, because I remember being the same way when I was a kid and just being upset because, people saying I spoke white. I don't even know what that means, or being called Oreo. And just in case you don't know what that means, that's just being black on the outside and white inside. And having your 3-year-old daughter to deal with that at such a young age is crushing. But I felt as a father it's important to man up and to explain to her that every day there could be a time where you have a friend or somebody you might not even know, they're not going to like you because of the color of your skin. But why, Daddy? You're black. I remember her saying that to me. I like you, Daddy. How come she doesn't like me? And Evangeline is literally the most sweetest, caring individual you could ever meet. Ever meet. She was only 3 years old. But I had to have that tough conversation with her. And explain to her that, not everyone's going to like you because of the color of your skin. And you know what? Maybe that girl is just jealous because you're just so beautiful. And that everyone does love you. And that you have beautiful hair. You don't have to straighten your hair. You know, just tough conversations. Same conversations my dad had with me growing up. One conversation I specifically remember him saying is like, you know, you have to work twice as hard. You have to have a chip on your shoulder. My dad, who's very successful now, he was like, you know, I think honestly, if I weren't black, I'd be the president of the United States. He said that to me. My dad was in the military. He's in the Army for 20 years. He joined when he was 17 to get out of Mississippi. I remember going through Mississippi as a kid, cotton fields everywhere. Tough conversation I had to have with my daughter at 3 years old. It was a tough conversation that my dad had to have with me when I was young as well. That's my story. And I hope you were able to relate. My name is Roy Williams, Jr.